Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. We need your support, so if you like what we do, please support us by joining our Patreon page. I want to thank Limerick Bowl for their support. If you're in the area, don't forget to visit Limerick Bowl in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Let me introduce our new partner, Haley's Pro Shop. A big thank you to Jeff Miller and Ron Hoppy. Don't forget to check out Haley's Pro Shop in Burlington, Washington for world-class drilling and coaching. Welcome back, everybody. Today we have the new Motiv Trident Nemesis. We are on a heavy volume house shot and the 2019 PBA Del Ballard 34-foot pattern. First impressions, it's a pretty ball with great shelf appeal. The question was, why not continue to use the turbulent core? For both value and house shot score, I'm going with a B. Pearl ASIMs fare relatively well in terms of usability and versatility. Maybe there's room for a higher score in the future when we alter the surface finish more. Okay, let's jump in. Firstly, this is one of the rare Motiv balls that come really shiny out of box. I'm not a huge fan of that in general, so I did just touch it lightly with a 4000 pad to break that more glassy look, but still has a strong sheen. After testing, I feel like it could use more surface, but that can be adjusted. What I can say is, despite continuing to use the infusion-based cover, this seems probably the furthest from the Supra and Ripcord in terms of ball reaction. I mean, relative to those three pieces. It's hard to tell how much chemistry change there is in the cover. The core is clearly different. Personally, I like the original Trident so much, I can't help but wish I saw the turbulent core back in a pearl cover. Anyway, the Nemesis feels hard off the spot, but not super quick, if that makes sense. Actually, sometimes it felt quick, sometimes hard, sometimes it was a touch late, and that left me in the pocket fairly easily, but back row pins were a risk with that type of motion more often than I would like. I feel like some added surface will blend that out, and perhaps if I had to do it over, I might shorten the pin position for, maybe wider flare rings. Even more interestingly, Motiv calls out the Supra for lighter conditions, and this for heavier. I ultimately felt like the Supra was probably the more versatile piece, but the Nemesis, felt a little more release sensitive for my game, and clearly I have ways to go there, so that's my problem. But I think some surface would relieve that, and I will say the Nemesis did give me some forgiveness room both in and out on this heavier pattern. For Bryan, it was a different picture. I recently tested a ball I couldn't stop striking with, and for Bryan, the Trident Nemesis was that ball. It was astoundingly easy for Bryan to not only keep and hold pocket, but also carry. He had a great look, and it was immediate. There was no fishing. The ball was exactly what you would expect from a Pearl ASIM. He got good length. It came off the spot hard and quick. He got enough of that ASIM stopping motion that it went through the pins extremely well, shot after shot. If anything, he had missed room out, but a little less room in. And this is something you would expect from the more angular balls. Bryan had a lot of fun throwing this ball. It just seemed to give him a great look for a Pearl ASIM. Clean, angular, good carry, miss room out. For the sport shot, we tested on the 34-foot Del Ballard pattern. These short patterns are a little bit unique, but I did want to showcase a little bit of something different with this ball. And for me, this did two things. One is show off the angularity a bit more. It was clearly fast off this pattern, and you would expect that reaction, but this was more so than other pieces. It also made the point even clearer that for me to effectively use this ball, more surface will be a must. Ultimately, if you're a lefty, surface is your friend, especially if you bowl on sport shots. For Bryan, the angularity again shows itself off, and here now there is a little more obviously less forgiveness, as you would expect. It's a tougher shot. Misses in have no chance to hold, but it also showed that this is not a weak ball. He had to give it a bit of room. He still had a pretty good look and could strike relatively easily on this pattern after a few games of wear. I think the Nemesis gave him a pretty good look despite edging towards the skid flip motion. Alright, final thoughts. This might feel like a bit of a tale of two balls, but it's probably not. The Trident Nemesis is a medium strength Pearl ASIM. Bryan has a more consistent release than I, so he was able to take advantage of that snappy, long, and strong motion of this ball. Either way, there was pretty good pocket control for both of us. A little less forgiveness with misses in, as you would expect. Overall, I see this as a more traditional Pearl ASIM addition to the Motiv lineup. It's quite different from the Golden Jackal or even the retired Villain Scorn, but people used to other brands' Pearl ASIMs may recognize this shape a bit more.